This deck is secretly super powerful, and it's the best deck I've found against the new gunslinger Thanos. Now, I don't want to overstate it. This is the best deck I've found against the new gunslinger Thanos, but that doesn't mean it's an unsolvable problem for the archetype, and it means more that current iterations of the archetype simply aren't equipped to answer the questions this deck is asking. Don't get me wrong, this deck is a glass cannon, and people doing things like playing location interaction and Luke Cage and all of those kind of things, let alone Mobius and Mobius, can definitely flip the matchup back in their favor. But right now, they aren't doing that. And as long as they're not doing that, there is a lane to take advantage of them and, frankly, the rest of the metagame with combo decks like this. This is not necessarily the only deck that can do what this deck is doing. The core here is basically that we have Luna Snow and Psylocke Fractured Frontier that both curve into Sarah or blink into Sarah, which allows us to absolutely discount the crap out of our hand, and then using things potentially like Prodigy or Mystique or even the ancient ones, Tau Mandala, to intensify the Sarah. Sometimes we choose to do that. Sometimes we choose to intensify the Scorpion Brand New Day. The setup then becomes, here is a bunch of point output. And the point output package here is Scorpion Brand New Day. The idea is that since he scales with copies of himself so dangerously, you want as many copies of his effect on the board as possible. I've had as many as 5. This comes from a Tau Mandala on a Scorpion lane, then the next turn Prodigying that Scorpion lane, and then Mystiquing the Prodigy. This is all possible thanks to the magic of massive energy discounts, but I also want to talk about why this deck specifically feels good into a Thanos-influenced metagame and Thanos Gunslinger specifically. So, the biggest thing is that a lot of those decks are playing small, low-to-the-ground stat sticks. Their cards are cheap, and they need them to be cheap. It's important for the purposes of Thanos that they are cheap, and generally, they're limited on the interaction they can play. There are 2 Thanos decks that you really want to watch out for. Thanos, which has the Reality Stone in it, and Thanos Batroc, which is often playing Cosmo Juggernaut. Basically, every other Thanos deck feels like a pretty free win as long as you play around the Soul Stone. You are going to be comboing into more points than they are able to deal with. And again, this is a glass cannon of a deck. Me making this video probably makes it less likely that this deck is good, because Thanos players will watch it and be like, damn, I gotta go get my Mobius or my Luke Cage or my Scarlet Witch or my Legion, or really any of those things would be a thing that functions here. But none of them have done that yet. And so until they do, and I think this is also important that they be forced to adapt to people, this is not just a really good deck, it is the best deck I have found if you don't want to play the new Thanos and you want to beat the new Thanos. With as much energy cheat as we have in here, it should come as no surprise that Lady Bullseye is a powerful card in this context. I think that she is pretty clearly second tier behind Hazmat, but you just need another card that is able to afflict a lot of things. And Lady Bullseye just simply is that card. There's really no 2 ways around it. This is a card that afflicts a lot of things, and it's important to this game plan to afflict a lot of things. The last thing you want is 5 Scorpions sitting on the board doing nothing. Base Scorpion is like a surprisingly solid card because if they either choose not to play any card in their hand at any given time, or they just afflict one of their own cards for nothing, which we are then going to turn into like -32 or something later in the game. This reduces the pressure on Hazmat and allows a lot of our Lady Bullseye games to make a lot more sense. It's great to play a Scorpion on too. Mystique is here to copy Sarah and to copy Scorpion Brand New Day. Mystique and Prodigy are probably the most skill-intensive cards in the entire list because it's very easy to tunnel vision the wrong way on both of them. The one thing you're going to want to keep in mind is positioning your Scorpion for Prodigy can occasionally open it up 2 various Cosmic Ghost Rider related shenanigans, and of course you're also going to want to make sure to protect your Scorpion from Thanos' Soul Stone. That's definitely a thing that you're going to be afraid of. Do not play him in lanes alone. This is a thing that you are definitely going to want to copy. Mystique is absolutely there to intensify your combo or intensify your ability to get to your combo. Very good card here. Magic is kind of the secret sauce. Like, the Thanos decks are by nature pretty designed to be turn 6 decks. And in much the same way that Show Lao decks never really enjoyed seeing Magic because so much of their thing was time locked, like they were doing stuff that ended the game on turn 6. Thanos decks are playing Thanos on turn 5, right? Like that's what they're doing. And so if you play a Magic on turn 5 and they play a Thanos on turn 5, they sit there and they're like, well, my hand is cheaper, but now the question is, do I have any board space to even finish doing all of this? And you're probably going to see Thanos decks adapting to this. Like I wouldn't be surprised if you saw some Scarlet Witches, some Legions, things like that do seem like they would make a ton of sense for Thanos decks to play. None of them are doing it except the ones that are playing old Thanos as well. And that just means that Magic gets totally free reign against whatever flavor of Thanos. And really, like, the other thing about this deck is the output is really big. We are a lot more consistent than we were a few iterations of this deck ago. And the output is really massive. So if your opponent is just like another deck that's like doing points and doesn't have any interaction like this, which again, people are kind of incentivized to play, because if you want to try to beat Thanos, out mid-ranging it is a thing you try to do. And if you're trying to out mid-range Thanos, you lose to this even harder. Hazmat's your combo card. You make a bunch of Scorpions and then you play Hazmat. That's really kind of it for her. She's the best at what she does, and what she does is not very nice. Prodigy is the card that I would expect most people to misplay. He's really difficult to actually make like informed decisions with a lot of the time. I've had games where like I screwed up my Prodigy positioning in order to protect a Scorpion. I've had games where I Prodigied my Hazmat instead of Prodigying my Scorpion because that was the play that was actually going to win me the game, because I was afraid of like a Juggernaut or a Cosmo on the Scorpion lane, which that is what happened. There's a lot of play in this card. I think this is probably the most complex and easily misplayable card in the deck. And a lot of the time, the questions you're asking with this card are like, is there something my opponent is expecting, right? So like, let's say you set up a lane to play the Ancient One spell in. One of the things that you can do instead is like, okay, I played that over there. What I'm going to do instead is I am going to Mystique, and then I'm going to find a way to Prodigy the Mystique, because I'm expecting them to Juggernaut the lane that I'm going to obviously play the Ancient One spell in, right? Like that kind of stuff is pretty real. I don't know if Psylocke is required. I find her to be a very useful consistency piece here, but I think she's probably third behind Magic and Luna Snow. But this is still a card that is going to enable us to do a little bit of unfair stuff a little bit more often, playing Psylocke into Sarah or Psylocke into Blink that either then goes and gets Sarah or goes and gets Scorpion. That's a lot better than what we do normally on turn 4, like by a pretty massive margin. So that is a pretty serious upgrade. You're not really playing her to quick draw her a lot of the time. Like it's cool if you happen to do it on exactly turn 3. That's obviously sick as hell. And you love cheating energy in a deck like this to the point that Mobius is probably actually the best card for people to play against you, because that is a really, really good card. But other than that, like this card is just second Luna Snow that's slightly worse, except sometimes is dramatically better. You are playing the Ancient One for the Tau Mandala, and you're going to have to spend most of the game trying to figure out where your Tau Mandala lanes are. This means that when you put an ongoing card down, you need to be really cautious about making sure you actually get to be able to Tau Mandala the Scorpion in another lane. This is actually part of the reason why I'm not playing Luke Cage in here. The other is that people are playing Cable, Rogue, Copycat. I kind of think that my opponents might benefit from me playing Luke Cage more than I benefit from me playing Luke Cage. And also, as an ongoing card, he really junks up the lanes. You really get like conflicts between him and the Ancient One, specifically like where am I going to play this Town Mandala? It is particularly meaningful. And while I do think he's an okay card to run here, I do think that like, you know, what I'm trying to do is combo off, right? I am going to win by 200 or I'm not going to win at all. I'm not winning any of the games or I'm Luke Cage mid-ranging it out. Just isn't going to happen. The premise of Luna Snow is always that you're going to do more with the energy than your opponent could ever dream of doing. And in this deck, that is the truest thing you've ever seen. When you get extra energy, what you're going to convert it into is negative 200 points on their board. And when they get extra energy, maybe they play Thanos a turn earlier. It's no contest. I think one of the places there's skill expression in this deck is figuring out how much you want to invest in copying Sarah and figuring out how much you want to invest in copying Scorpion. And I think it's very easy to make the wrong decision there and go all in on the Scorpion and lose to things like Juggernaut and Cosmo, where maybe if you'd played for the Sarah just a little bit more, you'd have been able to set up multiple lanes so you didn't lose to one piece of interaction. That definitely feels like a little bit of a thing that might trip people up, but Sarah is just obviously great for a deck that wants to play a bunch of cards late in the game. She's doing a great job here. This deck is constructed so that Blink basically always gets either Scorpion or Sarah. And between Blink and the fact that you are playing Magic, so there's like 7 turns in the game a lot of the time, unless your opponent interacts with it or you don't draw the Magic, and then the Magic's one of the cards you haven't drawn, you are pretty likely to end up with your combo here. Blink is a great card in combo decks. One of secretly my favorite cards in the game. I don't talk about her a lot because she often goes in decks like this, but I really miss when you can play Blink in mid-range decks. It's just that her calling is so clearly to do something like this, and boy, is she good at it. The man of the hour himself, Scorpion Brand New Day, is the star of the show. Your job is to copy him as many times as possible and play a hazmat. That is as simple of a game plan as I can give you. There's minutia, yes, but also that's what you're trying to do. You want to make as many copies of Scorpion Brand New Day's effect as possible, and then you want to hazmat people. That's it. That's the deck. Scorpion Brand New Day scales with himself. So 1 copy of Scorpion Brand New Day adds 1 additional afflict, or doubles the afflicts. I blew it. Whatever. I'm leaving it in. 1 copy of Scorpion Brand New Day doubles afflicts. A 2nd copy of Scorpion Brand New Day, that's 4. A 3rd copy of Scorpion Brand New Day, that's 8. A 4th, 16. You see where this is going, right? Like, it is doubling in really meaningful ways, and you are sending people to the shadow realm a lot of the time. Honestly, sometimes I'm not even sure I know the math. Like, people go so negative that I'm just like, I don't even know how that happened. But I think what I just said is basically correct. But the fundamental thing here is like they just go to like negative 200 when you have like 4 Scorpions. They have enough guys in a lane, they're just going to like negative 1,000,000. It's a really powerful thing to do when everyone is focused on these like low curve mid-range decks because they're playing Thanos right now. Fundamentally, that's what's going on here. A bunch of people are playing low curve mid-range decks with Thanos, Gunslinger, Fractured Frontier, that guy. And because they're playing low curve mid-range decks, they don't have the interaction they need to beat this. Straight up. Now, again, I don't want to oversell this. This deck was super successful for me. It was successful for KM Worst. It is successful right now. But I do worry that this is sort of a Schrodinger's cat situation where by making this video, I have dropped the win rate of this deck. Now it is on people's radar and they are aware of it. And I do apologize for that. But this is absolutely a glass cannon deck. I just don't think people respect it. People just kept staying. They just stayed into like a board that was very clearly, to me at least, going to be minus 1,000,000 power on their board. And they were just staying. And it was like, okay, I guess people don't respect this. I had a choice between doing a video on this and a video on a Thanos deck. And I chose this because people are not respecting it enough. And I want the takeaway from this video to be, If my opponent is Scorpion comboing, I should leave the damn game. Like, oh my God. Maybe I should pack a Luke Cage or a Mobius or a Scarlet Witch, but if they're doing the combo, do not stick around for that. You are not going to beat it, dude. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I've been KMBest. You've been phenomenal. Remember to like and subscribe, and we're about to jump into some gameplay, so stick around for that. The old Husky timeout. Yep. Yo, we drew our 1-2 drop that we actually play on too.
Hi, I'm Spider-Man.
Shit. It's so Jover for them. Okay, so I've noticed the problem with our hand. What the shit? Bruh. Dude, if he plays Mobius next, I'm quitting this game. I'm actually quitting this game. It's actually Jover. Fine, we just get magic. The one Luke Cage player. Is there a way to see if your opponent quick drew it? No. Why? Don't know. Oh shit, we actually drew her. Holy shit, it's lit. It's lit. Watch the podcast and I need that game log like yesterday. What game log? Oh, I just remembered. Sorry. We record the podcast on Wednesdays, so it's real iffy. So I'm kind of thinking that what we do here is like we ancient one the whoa, hello, cards in the back. See, now I'm kind of wondering, are we ancient oneing the Sarah? It kind of depends on our draw. Oh, I think we win. I find it hard to believe that we don't win here, right? It's minus a jillion? We're winning this, yeah? Fuck. It's no longer minus a jillion. Wait, they didn't blow a guy up. Oh, never mind. We're still winning. We're still winning. Thank God. If they'd blown one of those guys up, I do lose. Victory. 53 power Thanos? 33 power Thanos. It is true. It is a big word for Husky. Joe Mama. Am I a Luna gamer or a Blink gamer? Probably a Luna angle for the purposes of this. Yeah. Luna. I mean, I might be supposed to save this for later. Oh, never mind. We got the good one. All right. Just blink Psylocke into Sarah? No, this is way better. You don't get it. You wouldn't understand. Here. Am I ordering this correctly? We have 4. If I lose from here, it's because Lady Bullseye hates me. Cam, no, what the fuck? What did I do wrong? I'm sorry, what am I? Oh, right. This is slightly more, yes. I could get 5. You're so right. You're so right. I could have 5 of them instead. And now I simply draw Hazmat. No? Okay. I don't know how many this is. A bunch. I assume each one is like minus 30. Oh, God, dude, the Meek, no! Oh! Oh, no!
Apocalypse.
Oh, no! It was not minus 32!
Victory.
Goddamn Luke Cage gamer.
I'm Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Opponent snapped.
I will definitely stay with a hand like this. That could be a problem. I'm starting to get scared. Can that guy move? Can. So I guess we're gonna find out, right? Okay, we do have one. Gotta be that, right? This should do it. I'm not positive, but I think so. We cobbled it together, baby. We cobbled it together. It did streams on my YouTube. I'm worried it would be bad. That's pretty much it. I'm just worried it would be bad for my thing. I genuinely just don't know if it would or not, and I don't want to take the chance. Hair down. All right. What I'm worried about is that Greatness might be playing this deck. Okay, I'm still concerned by that. Okay, he's not playing this deck. That's good. What the fuck is he doing? I suppose is like also a relevant question. And I guess a further and also relevant question is, what the fuck are we doing? Hellion gets us. Yeah, okay, this works. I'm very concerned about a loot cage right now. Just everything he's doing is like, am I getting loot caged?
I am Iron Man.
Okay, I'm no longer that concerned with a loot cage.
I am Iron Man.
I'm now concerned with a Cosmo. I am now concerned with a Cosmo. I am now deeply concerned with a Cosmo. It's a scary sight. All right, yeah, that makes sense. But are we gonna win the mid? Yes. Oh, thank fuck. We did it. We got away with some shit here, dog. It definitely felt like we were never actually getting that Scorpion combo.